5 Journey into Mystery live stream. I'm your host, Jem Mint, and with me for the first time, my beautiful co-host, Fee Mint.
Hi, everybody.
What's going on, everybody? As you can see, we have the panel. You know what? We just brought everybody on screen all at one time. To my, what is this? My left, my right? We got Benny, the Comicstorian. What's going on, Benny?
Hey, what's going on? And everyone who just watched us go live on my side, as usual, go check out Jem Mint's channel and everyone else as they go through their whole thing. I'm too lazy to do any more of an intro. We're going to talk Loki. Enjoy. Let's go.
We're jumping right into it, man. We got a great episode to discuss. And to Benny's right, his favorite Pressable Defects member, Guy Loki Forge. What's up, man?
What is up, Fee? Great to have you here with us. It's nice to see you, and just happy to represent the defects tonight.
Oh, thanks.
And below me, we have my co-host on the Top 10 Comics of the Week, Rockin' Robbie Billups. What's going on, Robbie?
Not much. You know, I'm always excited to be here to talk about Loki. I'm even more excited to be here tonight to talk about Gator Loki, and even more excited for my first show with Fee Mint Station.
There you go. Oh, it's the first show. Dang. And then next to Robbie, we got the king of the top 10s. We got Comic Tom 101. What's up, Tom?
Oh, what's good, Geminites? Gem, Fee, it's good to see you on here. Everybody else on the panel, we got a fun show for you today. We have breaking news in the last hour or two about Kang. Get ready, buckle up. Kang's coming. Kang's coming. I've said it. I think we're right. It's gonna get all messed up on the timeline.
All right, we'll get to that. We'll go through the episode scene by scene as we always do, and we might have some other guests file in one at a time. You know how people are, man. Can't come on time, internet issues, and the whole 9 yards. So we might see Gary, we might see Michael Roman, and is there anyone else? I don't think so.
No idea.
All right, cool. So what's going on to everyone in the chat? Thanks for coming through. I see you guys. Let's jump up into this episode. So we start off, we have this nice kind of like spinning, rotating shot. We're going through the TVA. We're going through the Timekeeper's lair. Then we're going through the Void, where Loki is now, and we see the destroyed New York City as we're going through. We find out now what the Void actually is. And in the distance, we have a lost type of smoke monster in the background. What do they call it? The Eliath?
Eliath, yeah.
Goliath.
The only reason I remember that is every time I hear Eliath, I'm like, Goliath. When you say it later, think Goliath with no G.
Well, that's a great way, actually.
That's going to help me out for the rest of this episode, actually. So we're going back and forth a lot between the Void and the TVA. Where we left off, we have Renslayer, the showdown with Sylvie. Sylvie has the upper hand. Renslayer claims that she's just in the dark as everybody else. She doesn't know who's running the TVA, who created the robotic timekeepers, and you can't prune anything to just delete it, right? So that's what we find out what the Void is. Basically, when you prune something, you're just transporting it to this other dimension that's sitting at the end of time.
I'm so glad for that.
Gotta give
glad.
gotta give something for Eliath to eat. You know, it's kind of their garbage disposal.
We got a lot of Easter eggs in the Void, man. So what are the things that we saw? I know we saw like a saucer, a UFO, a sailboat.
You guys saw Queen Tower, right?
Yeah.
What, the Avengers Tower?
Yeah, but it said QENG Tower. That was the tower, and that's a great hint towards Kang. Just so obviously, I'm
Is
sure
that
Tom
another
will talk
Kang
about
reference?
It's another
Yeah.
Kang reference.
It is a Kang
Yes,
reference.
sir. Yes, sir.
I
So-
think they're debating us.
Yeah.
us.
They totally are. They
I've learned
totally
my
are.
lesson from WandaVision. I don't think you're going to get a brand new character at the end of this
No,
season.
I don't.
Okay, can I read the update? Do you guys mind?
I just
Because
Googled. I don't know what you found.
I think we're all interested to hear what you found, Tom.
Okay, live on Key Collector as of today. You know we got some sources over there. Update. Kang. Marvel reportedly has Jonathan Majors signed to 5 live-action projects with a possible solo series.
Hmm.
But that
So
doesn't
let's
tell
see.
us he's in Loki.
Well, he's going to be in more than Ant-Man 3 is what it says, right? So
I still I feel like at the very end he's gonna be the Thanos. We're gonna get the back of his head and Jonathan Majors making a light. That's all I think we're gonna get.
Hey, if that's what I'm
That's it.
talking about, that's all I need, man. If we get just a glimpse, it could be a post-credit scene, but I think we're gonna see something with Kang.
I'll tell you what, though, that would be cool because I don't want to see another one-and-done villain. I don't want to see another Yellow Jacket or Ironmonger, these guys that come and go. If they're setting up Kang and there's going to be potential more after Quantumania, I think that's going to be better for us. And maybe they will do that because look at what they're doing with WandaVision and with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Nobody's arc is really ending anymore, right? It's kind of leaving it open to do more things.
Solo series means Ramata is on the play.
And Immortus and all that.
Iron Lad is now in play. Everything is possible.
For $5, Empire Comics says it's going to be King Loki in the castle with the candlestick behind it all. Okay, let's get to that more when we get to it. But I appreciate the super chat. But yeah, we'll circle back. So let's see. So we find out that the Alliance in the sky, they don't let any matter get through the void. They don't let anything leave the void. So that's basically the gatekeeper to the void. So the Lokis, they all survive. That's kind of their thing. That's why they're all there at the void. That's why they don't die. And that's kind of where the TVA puts them all until the end of time. So we find out what Kid Loki's Nexus event was. I thought that was interesting. That was straight out of the comics, right? So he killed Thor. What run was that? Was that Fear itself when he killed Thor? Or was it prior? It was prior to Fear itself.
What, when Kid Loki killed Thor?
When Kid Loki killed Thor.
When did that happen?
I don't think he killed Thor. I think he almost killed Thor.
I think he killed him in the Kieran Gillen omnibus. That's why he came back as Kid
I'm
Thor.
pretty sure he actually did kill him. I think you're right, Jem.
He killed him. Yeah, it's to save Asgard or something like that.
I'm gonna Google that real fast.
For $5, Ramsey said, Ramsey vs. Comics says, don't expect too much and you won't be let down. That's my general rule of thumb.
Yes.
For everything. So first of all, what do you guys
every
think?
day of my life because I expect
Let's start with Speed, the new one. So what do you think about the smoke monster, the Alliance in the sky?
It's okay. I feel like that's kind of like it gave me very much like what else you said? The Never-Ending Story. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, what are we watching? Never.
What do they call it? The Nothing?
The Nothing. Yeah, the Nothing. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. I like the way that they described it and all of that.
It kind of gave me like Aladdin. What's he say?
Yes.
The diamond in the rough or whatever. So that was pretty cool. So anyway, so we go to Loki's underground lair. Now right away, Benny. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, Jeb. He did kill him in Fear Itself. It wasn't Fear Itself. They were in Dark Asgard, and it was a mistake involving a serpent that battled Thor, and Thor lost. And it was the result of something Loki did.
Thank you for the fact check. Yeah, I was just reading the Omni, the Kieran Gillen omnibus. It was okay, a little wordy. I thought you would have backed me up on the comic book knowledge there, buddy.
Bro, I don't really like the Kieran Gillen.
I stopped reading it halfway through. It's a little too wordy, a little too dense for me. But Benny, how wrong were we with this President's Loki, man?
Okay, I did say I'm throwing a long shot out there, but I am sad he was just like I was expecting something a little bit more. Like I was long shotting that he was the one behind everything, but I was expecting more than just him being a cameo, basically, with everyone else. Like I thought he was going to be manipulating something, not just be like, haha.
I got his crown. Like that's like,
that's an Amazon order that you regret.
I was excited.
I was so sad about that though. He shows up, makes a comment, and then fights the alligator and loses. I'm like, oh
yeah, the alligator was more important than President.
He bit his hand off, man.
He bit his hand off straight Happy Gilmore style.
Yeah, I love that, like Peter Pan, bro.
So the Lokis have the underground lair, right? That's where they go to escape the Alliance. He got Kid Loki. What they call him? Boastful Loki and Classic Loki, bro. Classic Loki for the win in this show, man.
Perfect.
Did I tell you, Robbie, how you were going to love Classic Loki?
You're right, man. Richard E. Grant is such an amazing actor. And as soon as I heard he was in this, I was like, he's got to be playing like an old man Loki. And he's old and he's been through it. I love how they just laugh at our Loki. They're like, the only plans to survive. And the way you'll get to it, but the way it all comes around at the end, freaking fantastic, bro.
Gary,
what a great
performance. Have an even panel.
Someone saw
Gary.
my
Tardiness.
What's that?
All right, take it from the top. Sorry.
All right,
take it from the top.
You know what? I forgot to mention. So while we're going into Loki's underground lair, we get a lot of Easter eggs in the soil, like straight Simpsons style. So
I have a question about that.
So let's hear it.
Kid Loki. Okay, so whose Thor is in there? Whose Thor is next to Mjolnir?
Isn't that the Frog Thor?
Yeah, that's Frog.
Yeah.
Frog.
Oh, who's a frog?
So it was hard to catch, but he was jumping around so frantically like a frog.
Right.
So
It's actually it's not Throg.
Is it not? Because I didn't see that, but I read it online. But I couldn't really tell what it looked like. It looked like a Thor.
I'm with you on that one, Jim. Everyone's like, it's Throg, and I'm like, that was that small, guys.
I can help you out with it because Thor 365, which was on the vial there, the beaker, if you would.
Okay.
So you have Thor 364, which is when Thor turns into a frog because of Loki. Thor 365 is when Thor picks up the hammer as the frog and turns into Thor, Frog, God of Thunder. Now in 364, that's where Simon Puddlegup gets introduced, which was retconned years later after the popularization of Throg, because the community like gave that name to Thor as a frog, but that was actually a character that never existed until Lockjaw Pet Avengers, which is Simon Puddlegup, who appeared in 364, and what's on the beaker is 365. So that is Thor in that beaker.
All right, it's a frog Thor.
I knew I brought time on
way
for
too
a
much
reason.
of a deep dive.
It's a frog Thor. I watched that thing like 5 times to make sure. I was like, is that a frog?
We watched it twice, and I just thought it was a shrunken Thor, but that's why Throg made sense, because why would Thor be shrunken like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that threw me off.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm
we'll
gonna go with Throg.
Man, all right. So then we flash back to the TVA, right? So Renslayer, she asked Miss Minutes for the files, right? Everything on the TVA from the beginning of time. We're seeing more of Miss Minutes in this episode. Do you think that is that on purpose? Like, does that mean something?
Yeah, because they got Tara Strong doing the voice, and
So
she
they had
was
to
the
pay her
voice of.
for
Yeah,
3
if you're
episodes.
going to pay Tara Strong, you're not just going to have it be a cameo, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think she's
I'm
gonna be
just-
nothing more than just the quick little. Oh, we got her. Check it out.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
didn't they
just
get
gonna say-
Miley
I'm gonna say it
Cyrus?
right.
They
Yeah,
got
I'm gonna say
Miley
it right here.
Cyrus for the end credit scene of Guardians Volume 2 for one of the original Guardians or whatever that team was.
Yeah.
But that's Miley
Sylvester
Cyrus.
Stallone too. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but I would say things like that is kind of like a fun little, hey, we're gonna give you like a day check of like $100 to show up, but it's just for the fun of it. But like
Yeah,
Tara
yeah.
Strong doing a long voiceover kind of a thing, that's a little bit
Yeah.
different, you know.
She's part of the show with this Miss
Yeah.
Minute.
Well, I agree with 12 Cent Comics though. Miss Minutes kind of feels like she's like, oh yeah, I'm looking for what you're asking for. Like she's
So-
not really looking.
My
Didn't
point
they-
exactly. I think
Yeah.
Miss Minutes a shady bit. You know.
Well, she was
is.
stalling, right?
Nice catch there, Loki Forge.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem.
She was definitely stalling, right? And then Renslayer was they were hitting the panic button under the desk there, and they called the Minutemen to come through, right? So basically, then Renslayer gets the upper hand on Sylvie. I wasn't really digging that. It was kind of like, aha, you know what I mean? Like everyone's just gonna one up each other and all of that. So anyway, Renslayer says she's gonna put Sylvie in a time loop. She'll find a good memory. Do you even have any good memories? And Sylvie says she has one good memory, and then she prunes herself. Suicide is unalives herself. That's how they say it in Ultimate Spider-Man. And then she gets sent to the void. So I was kind of like, oh, look at Sylvie. You know, I like Sylvie so much more in this episode now. So I guess they did a good job with writing, because I didn't like her at all. And when did she first have dialogue? Episode 3, when she didn't give us anything on Lamentus one.
Yeah, I
Right?
think it was 3, right?
And then even 4, it's like she wouldn't open up at all. But now I think, you know, towards the end of 4 and in this episode, she really kind of came out of her shell a little bit, so to say. I think
yeah,
that was
the
Gary.
performance is really strong too. Like that's something that developed over these last few episodes, and I really loved this episode. She was a big part of it, and all the other Lokis were a big part of it. And her performance and the writing can be up and down, but what they're doing for the character of Loki in particular, whatever version it is, the idea of Loki wants to be good, but he can't, like, or they can't, like, it's really interesting. I think that's really helped her character. The blanket scene kind of bothered me, but aside from that, it's okay.
The blanket scene was a little cheesy, but you know, I really appreciate the cinematography in this series, because you had Lamentus, which looked great. You had the TVA, which was awesome, like throwback. What is that, like 1950s or 60s workplace? And then you got the Void, which looks awesome. Now, IG 12 Cent Comics, does Renslayer know about the Void? I can't remember if they established that or not.
I think they did. I think she's aware of everything and just doesn't know who's behind it all, and that's what they were establishing. Like, she
Okay,
knows
so-
it all and has never been able to find the real answers, but has kept quiet about it all.
Right, because the Lokis said that's where the TVA sends them. So the
Yeah.
TVA knows they go somewhere, and they have to know about the Alliance, right? So then, yeah, Renslayer knows that Sylvie isn't dead and everything.
You say that, but Renslayer didn't know that the timekeepers weren't real.
Or did she?
Does she
I
not?
hate
I
her
think she
name
did.
because it's a more badass than she deserves. It's so
It seems like she used to be badass back in the day when she was a Minuteman, and then she got promoted to judge, and now she just kind of chills and does desk work. Anyway,
That's
so
what happens.
yeah, right. It happens to the best of us. So we're back in the Void. Classic Loki tells his story, how he got on the TVA's radar. then our Loki tells him about Sylvie, and you can see he's like really trying to go to bat for her. He's really vouching for her on how she's different and she's gonna help take down the Alliance, and they all just bust in and start laughing at him, and that's when he leaves the lair, and then we get President Loki. So we kind of jumped ahead earlier, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. How disappointed I was that President Loki wasn't a a deal. He had an army and everything, right? Like, what the hell?
It was such a waste. It was such a waste. And I'll talk about
his
it.
His one-liner is great.
But it's such a waste, though. And I'll talk about this when we get to the ending, but I feel very conflicted on the whole episode based on that scene and then a couple scenes that happened later. Like, on one hand, I want to be like, it's an 8 out of 10. On the other hand, my variant's like, it's a 2 out of 10. Like, I'm so divided on how this episode is going and what I wanted and what we're getting. So,
yeah.
Benny, is your mic on? Because you're a little low tonight.
People like that. All right, so yeah,
I loved the whole President Loki thing. I don't remember who said last week he was going to be the main villain.
Hey, who else?
Yeah, no, the only upset part I had
that shoe, Benny?
was that alligator Loki. That Loki didn't do the death roll. Instead, he just bit his hand off. I thought he'd bite it and roll it off like a real alligator.
That's a good point.
Somebody didn't do enough research. I guess.
I mean, you got Floridians in the group here, right? You got to do the death roll.
Gary's going to deduct points for the lack of authenticity on
the alligator.
On the alligator Loki.
Big shout out to Mike Cecilia for the $5 super chat. This is your deposit for the Gemmin Collectibles tablecloth, or is it going to be the dual blanket that Loki and Sylvie shared?
It didn't look like a cozy blanket. It wasn't fuzzy.
She said that too.
You even cover them all the way.
I thought he was going to change it into like a happy napper or something like that. Like after she said that.
Well, I feel like they missed an opportunity that they almost like wrote around it, where he makes this blanket, and she's over here like, I really wish I had a different outfit on because this is not comfortable. Like, why didn't he not just hook her up?
Really quick,
I don't get that.
That's a little assuming to just change your whole outfit on you.
I'm gonna assume the outfit he had in mind is not very comfortable either for her.
Or for him, probably. Yeah, actually.
That's kind of messed up though. It's like a girl saying I'm cold, and you're sitting there with a jacket, and she has none, and you're just like, that sucks for you, man.
Ugh,
like,
you should have thought about that.
Okay, in his defense though, she could literally just probably snap her fingers and make clothes. Earlier, he did that. So if they're the same, and like she's like, "Can I have your coat?" I mean, I'd probably be like, "Just magically make one." You know?
Ryan Radford for $5 says he doesn't know. I don't know about you, but I need a Throg buddy cop movie. So who's Throg's partner in the buddy cop movie? Mjolnir?
Gator Loki.
Everybody wants Gator Loki.
No, for real though, I think we got Pet Avengers coming. Like this is just all lining up. We got Devil Bonus coming.
DC's doing the Super Pets.
Wait, and I have the crazy ideas, Tom.
Imagine what that would be like. Like
they'll do that.
Huge. We got
a guy with a mustache for $5 says it figures the most cold-blooded Loki took out President Loki. I mean that makes a lot of sense, man.
Literally.
So we are in the void, and Sylvia appears in a school bus, which I know you were kind of digging. He wants to revamp a school bus. And then the Alliance shows up, chases her. Now, she uses some kind of power. I don't think we really know at the time what she's doing. She kind of gets a vision or something, right?
No joke. I thought it was the Time Stone. I just thought it was the Time Stone. She froze it real quick, and it was green. I didn't realize she was trying to enchant it, or they had that moment of touching.
Yeah, when she was trying to enchant, I don't know if she was trying to enchant, but obviously it touched her a little bit, and that's how her reaction was.
Right.
When she touches stuff, that's what she's doing, right?
That's true. Yeah. So she enchants it. She gets a vision of like what the guy on the couch who's controlling the Alliance with a joystick or whatever's going on there, and that plays a little part later. So with the President Loki thing, I guess back to that. So boastful Loki reveals he's a traitor. Shocker that a Loki is a traitor. He wants to be king of the void. Then President Loki betrays him. It's another aha kind of thing, right? One upping the next guy. Then Loki's army betrays President Loki, and that's when he gets his hand bit off. Classic Loki helps Kid Loki and our Loki escape, and I love their walk. Their walk was very interesting, man. Every time a Loki tries to better themselves, they get sent to the void. So that's kind of what causes the Nexus event. Whoever's in charge of the sacred timeline is like, no, you're supposed to be bad. You're out of here, and then back to the regular Loki scheduled program. Ryan Radford for $2 said, Throg and Goki buddy cop. Do I know? I'm not. Who's
That's
Goki?
Gator Loki.
Gator Loki.
Go. That's what I was trying to think of what the name was. Gator Loki.
I like that.
And what's funny is on one of the other streams, somebody tried to ask me if it was an alligator or a crocodile.
A crocodile has a very thin, pointy
I was
nose.
right with
It's
Gator
absolutely
Loki.
an alligator.
Definitely alligator coming from Floridians.
How do you guys feel about Kid Loki? Because I feel like he's probably obviously Old Man Loki is pretty dope, but
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to like Kid Loki so much. And clearly they're keeping him around. Young Avengers, probably.
Yeah,
You think so?
I agree.
That'd be cool.
100%. They're building it. Each Disney Plus show has introduced another character for Young Avengers, and we're not done because what do we have? Miss Marvel, and we have Hawkeye.
I was like, Hawkeye's literally Kate Bishop. I mean, you're not going to get any more Young Avenger that a series focused on her being the new Hawkeye. So
It's funny.
I want to argue just to be the devil's advocate, but I can't. Like, it's so obvious we're getting Young Avengers.
That's probably going to be his last attempt at Hawkeye, right? His last time as Hawkeye.
Oh,
Jeremy,
unless they put him
Rayner?
on the Guardians of the Galaxy, send him into space.
You need to watch Black Widow, man.
Be quiet,
Oh,
Tom.
No spoilers. We're gonna watch it after
Be
this.
quiet, Tom.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it either tonight or tomorrow for sure. 100%.
So anyway, Kid Loki, Classic Loki, they agree to help Loki take down the Elias. And then Mobius is back. We knew he was going to be back, but I was still very happy to see him back.
So happy.
I'm
so
happy he got an actual goodbye. Like, we got to say and do, like, treat it properly as opposed to...
That was nice.
Yeah, but he's not done, right?
Yeah,
We got to
he's
see
gonna-
him in it.
He's going to take care of Ravonna, right? Of Renslayer.
right.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
going to be his
exactly.
arc right there.
Do
Yeah.
you think he's a clone? Obviously, we've chatted about that in depth. Is there any chance that we may see a bad version of Owen Wilson in that castle?
Don't you dare.
No.
You know what? I think that's very possible. I think the probabilities are a Loki type of character, but then again, Loki doesn't really want to be in charge of the sacred timeline. So it doesn't seem like any Loki wants that.
Okay, here's the thing. All we have seen pruned so far has been Loki's. Loki's turning good. So we haven't seen anything else. Like, they showed this other dude that shows up when at the very first episode. That could have been another Loki too, because we've learned in the show Lokis don't have to look like Tom Hiddleston, right? So if the whole purpose is that somebody wants to do something at the end of time and make one timeline, and the only thing we've seen pruned are good Lokis, that means it's evil Loki in a universe where Loki always stays bad, right? The natural progression is chaos of the universe, so Loki turns good or something, right?
Hold on, but Mobius got pruned. He's not a Loki that we know of.
Well,
and we watched the guy at the very beginning going through when they were doing the tickets.
Right.
The very first episode get pruned.
And
he could have been a Loki though. So
Don't
what
even
I'm
get me
saying
going
is,
with fights.
So
it's
everyone's
Nexus
a Loki.
events. Nexus events start. The only Nexus events we've seen come from
The
Loki's
Lokis.
trying to be good. And so if they're trying to prune the timeline of Loki's becoming good, it is a Loki trying to stay evil enough, I guess, to rule the end of time. I still think it's an ultimate evil.
What about
Loki.
Scarlet Witch? Did she not have a Nexus event, or what were they just considering her a Nexus?
Being.
A
She's
being,
a Nexus being.
the
Yeah.
same in all realities, right? Is that what
Yeah.
that's supposed to mean? Something like that?
Well, every
Wouldn't it
event that we've seen is this event, even the Thanos.
I mean, I
Yeah.
get what you're saying, and I do agree with the Loki thing, but I feel like this is the situation of why they named her Sylvie instead of just calling her Loki like every other variant Loki. I think this is just streamlining the show, because like otherwise we're going to get a whole episode where they're like, and here's the land of the variants. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Right.
I think
it makes
that's
it
what we
easier
just
to Loki.
got.
What's
I think
that?
that's what we just got. Exactly what you described.
The land
That's
of
the
the
land-
bears.
that's the
I mean, they
void and the
showed a
land of the
lot of
bears.
stuff there where people could hide and live. We just saw the Loki side, you know.
I don't.
Wouldn't it have been
want
funny
Loki
to
in
see
charge.
that guy like from the beginning? There too.
It's
Right.
him.
I
The
would've
whole
liked- I would've liked to
Apparently
have
on the
seen
Easter
him.
eggs, we also, and I didn't catch this either, but I saw it on the thing. Yellow Jacket's armor was emptied out, and
Yeah, the
His helmet.
Oh,
a
there was
giant
a lot
man,
of
like
little
helmet.
Easter eggs,
a
right?
giant side of it too. A giant
Aren't they
size.
trying to say the train from Spider-Man 2 was there as well? I saw
That's,
somebody. Was that a reach?
I don't
it
know
might
about
be.
that. The
That's like
statue,
a lot of it's a reach.
the statue, like the head of a statue of the Living Tribunal was there, so that's interesting. Speaking
That
of
is very
multiverse,
interesting.
I mean, I saw one article that said because the Thanos copter is here, the MCU just reintroduced Thanos and he's coming back.
He's writing down notes in his phone, and I'm like,
I missed it.
Thanos copter.
I was like, what? So we'll get to that. I guess we didn't get there yet. Loved the Thanos copter. Anyway, we talked about Mobius. He's now realizing the TVA are the bad guys. At the same time, Sylvie comes up with a plan to attack the Alliance at the same time that our Loki does. They're both Lokis. They both think the same. Then we see a ship get transported into the void. Another Rock and Robbie debunk right there, because what was up with that ship getting
No idea.
pruned?
It's I mean, they're throwing a lot of Easter eggs in there for like conspiracy theories, and like that ship that's supposed to be part of the Philadelphia experience is there, and there's that video game that was supposed to mind control people. What was it, Polybius or something like that? That's in there. So lots of cool little bits. I'm just saying that, like, if a Nexus, like, when did Old Man Loki get pruned? Like, when did his universe get pruned? Like, all that stuff would still show up if they're. I just think someone's basically pruning the timeline. So
Loki's got something to do with it, right? I mean, he's the common denominator.
Or we're overthinking it.
Yeah.
That can't be an option.
If Loki is the main antagonist, I will be slightly disappointed.
I have a theory as to why it is, and I was gonna give it at the ending here, but like an actual theory, not a bullshit theory that I've done every week now.
At least the first step is admitting it, Benny.
Yeah. Okay, so it works here too. So the whole purpose of this show has been that Loki is going to fail no matter what. He will fail. There's no way to redeem him, and he will be pruned off if he tries to become a hero. They tried to alter that by having this Loki go chase down the other Loki. I think it's safe to assume they intended to prune him afterwards because he would have become a good guy. So for following the logic of the show, that two Lokis who are now working together and have learned to trust people are like, they're getting in a relationship. They're the protagonist. They're succeeding. The logic of the show would say that this is going to be a Loki who got to the end of the timeline and doesn't trust anyone. Because it'll follow the train of thought we have here, and we're going to have a friendship is magic moment where Sylvie and Loki are like, see, you can trust us. And we're going to have something like that as the finale. And
then the My Little Ponies show up.
Yeah. I mean,
that's horrible. A Care Bear might as well walk by too.
Exactly. I mean, they probably won't friendship is magic it up that badly. But the whole plot has been that Loki can't trust anyone, and these two are the ones breaking it. So it just makes sense to me that since we haven't introduced an official Kang, or we haven't even dropped hints of like, they're a conqueror and something's happening over here, nothing has implied another villain, unless we're going to Wizard of Oz it and literally pull a curtain back and go, ha-ha, it was me all along. I feel like it's going to be a Loki to show that lesson that we've been learning the whole show.
Benny, what I like about that is they go out of their way to show us how the other Lokis in the void betray each other from one to the other, like boom, 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 boom. So finally we have these guys sitting outside cuddled up in blankets that are actually trusting each other, which is very un-Loki-like.
And they succeed, and I'm not trying to jump ahead of your recap, but when Old Man Loki trusts them, a success happens. So it plays in line with Lokis are trying to break out of this mold that has been created for them. So this whole thing is a scheme. It's all mischievous. It all lines up with being an evil Loki.
It is. It's an evil Loki.
All right, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So anyway, the ship transport, that whole scene was to show us how powerful the Alliance is. And Loki's like, yeah, you know what? This plan is not really going to work. Sylvie and Loki, they meet up. We have the reunion. We have Mobius there. I love how happy Loki is to see Mobius and vice versa. That makes me happy for some reason. And Sylvie kind of scoffs at the idea, like, you wanted to kill the Alliance? Like, no. That's a guard dog. It's guarding something beyond the void at the end of time that we need to get to. So how about we cause a distraction? We'll do the roll runaround. I'll enchant him. And that's when we learn that that's what that was in the beginning when she first encountered him. Back to the TVA, Renslayer visits B-15. She wants to know what drives Sylvie. She wants to, B-15 accuses Renslayer of that all you want to do is know who's behind the TVA as well. But then she ends it with, you want to know it, but Sylvie needs it. So really, I guess just showing how driven Sylvie is, and that she really needs to find out who took her life from her, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, we got some guy with a mustache with $20. Rest in peace to the coolest looking Loki. You don't have to at me. I already know I'm right. Talking classic Loki. I'm right there with you, man.
I actually agree. I think he looked great. I'm still calling him Silver Age Loki. I thought he looked awesome.
That helmet was so just perfect. I loved it.
Anytime you give me the comic version of something, I'm going to like it way better.
Yes.
The only issue is he must have been so uncomfortable. He was definitely bunching. Like, he was just bunching up.
That's why he kept drooping the cape over him.
Yeah, he's like, I'm adjusting here.
I would too. Then it was pulled up really high. I mean,
So Renslayer, she calls on Miss Minutes again. That's what made me think of, like, is there something more to Miss Minutes? For every file on the start of the TVA from the beginning of time, she wanted to know about the apocalypse event. She's basically trying to get all the information she can, because she says to Miss Minutes that the TVA is in danger. So that was interesting.
Yo, I bought a couple Loki shirts. I typically hit like Hot Topic and, in preparation for the next show. It's good for production and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was surprised to find out that out of all the shirts that they had a TVA shirt, cop that one, but there was like 3 Ms. Minutes shirts.
I am telling you.
Like, I know it's fun. It looks, she's cute, but I don't know. They, you look
It's
to where
Disney.
Marvel puts money in, and typically there's something there. Maybe Miss Minutes has something to do with
Was
it.
it
That's
Miss
another
Minutes
thing.
all
If
along?
Miss Minutes ends up being the big antagonist, I will also be disappointed.
So what if it's the person? What is this? If it's the same voice, but it would have to be a character that we know from the comics, right? But they're controlling Miss Minutes like they're controlling the Alliance. Aren't those the similar type of non-living? What did Miss Minutes call herself in the first episode or second episode? She's not alive, but she's not a robot.
Yeah, I would be great. Honestly, I would like it. I would like Miss Minutes better than Evil Loki or a surprise reveal and explanation of who Kang is. Like, at least Miss Minutes has been popping up the whole series, so the whole time you'll be like, "How did I miss that?"
It'll be an Agatha thing all over again. I'm not buying it.
If it is Miss
It would be
Minutes,
an
So,
Agatha
Gary,
thing. Yeah.
so
Like, are they
Gary,
gonna
who is it that's gonna make you happy at the end? Who it is?
Tom knows.
Kang.
Come
He
on.
wants Kang. He wants
want
Kang and
Immortus.
only Kang.
Want some
You
more?
want Immortus?
I'd like Kang too, but they gotta drop something that people that haven't been reading comics for forever or know this material like we do, like they got to make something that's fulfilling to them. And if it is Miss Minutes, and that would be interesting. Like, what is it going to be? They're going to get to that castle and like is a giant clock with a face on it. Like, I don't like what is it?
Here, okay, so we're reaching, right? We're all reaching. Here, you ready for a big reach here?
Alright.
This is just me on the fly.
Reach around.
Reach, Gary.
As long as it's not a reach around. Yeah.
No, not yet. We have next week still. We have Immortus in the castle. Okay, but that's not all. We have
Mephisto.
a Renslayer
And Iron Lad.
variant who's with Immortus. Don't they have a relationship, Kang and Renslayer?
Yeah.
That Renslayer variant is Miss Minutes. There you go.
How
Okay.
about if they MCU it up and Immortus comes out and he's like, I am a variant of Kang, Miss Minutes, and Renslayer. I'm all one thing.
And he's a Loki.
You could
And he's
sum
a
up
Loki.
Immortus.
That's what Empire's saying.
I was
Loki will
just
be
talking to
there.
Matt about this today. You could literally bring Immortus in and a 2 to 3 minute monologue. He could explain everything.
But
But
do you
based
want,
on
do you
what
want a
we know-
monologue in the middle? Do you want the old school, like, haha, I'm the
No, I
villain?
want him talking to Sylvie and Loki
But it's
and
just like,
explaining
again,
everything.
with what we learned from WandaVision, it's Scooby-Doo. It's going to be somebody we've already been introduced to. It's going to be
Probably.
Mobius or Loki or somebody like that.
If they take the mask off, man, if like something walks up and he's like, oh, it's hot in here.
Well, I mean, I'm just
The
saying in the sense
Renee
that
or
they're
the
not going to
Ren
introduce
player,
somebody in the ninth inning and be like, I am Immortus, and this was my plan all along, and I've created the TVA. And it's like, oh, so some guy we never heard of is.
Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if we got a clue moment and he goes, "Oh, it could have happened this way."
Oh, we get 3 or 4 different endings. That'd be great.
Yeah.
It's a
Wouldn't that be
multiverse
fun?
after
What if
all,
it's a
right?
choose
There
your
you
own
go.
adventure ending?
The clue
I'd love
moment.
that.
What if it is a Mobius, a variant of Mobius running the show?
That would
I-
be-
That'd be interesting.
It
What
could be
do-
Renslayer.
One of the
Could be
guys in my
It could be a
chat.
Renslayer variant.
One of the
Mobius
guys in my
on-
chat said, "What if Miss Minutes is a pruned version of another character, like the variant with the coffee cup?"
That's what I'm saying.
Like
be.
Renslayer.
What
She
if it's
could have
Harley
variants.
Quinn? Just Harley Quinn shows up and it's a crossover. Amalgam's coming.
Oh,
There's no connection to Kang. Why Eliath? No one knows Eliath.
I know,
do
why
this.
Sphinx?
Service.
Why Renslayer? To
That's
get
strange,
us
yeah.
talking about Kang and
Why
get everybody
Mobius?
ready for Kang, so
Why
that
the
people
King
can go to
Tower?
people's
Like,
videos, like
we
Vinny's
don't-
videos.
We
Who is
don't
Kang?
need Kang. We
That's
can
more
get
of, of an
Immortus.
Eris video. Ryan Radford for $5 says Loki could have killed the timekeepers and Miss Minutes became a digitalized timekeeper consciousness. Okay, yeah, I mean, we don't. It could be any of these crazy things, but it's probably going to be the most obvious thing. But we'll get to that. So we're still in the void. We got Mobius talking with the Lokis, and this is where we get our blanket moment with Sylvie and Loki. Talking about their awkward Nexus event that they don't really want to talk about, but they share a moment, and And Loki ends the conversation with, let's figure this out together. So that's kind of like the final bond that we're going to trust each other and we're going to take down this alliance and figure out who the hell is behind the curtain as the Wizard of Oz. So
Josh Phelps says it's Mr. Nimbus.
I like that. I like that.
He does control the police. So, I mean, there's
He
that.
controls the TVA.
So the Lokis are all facing the Alliance in the distance. This is where we. Oh, you know what? I didn't even talk about the Thanos copter. How did I pass that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, man. Thanos copter.
Oh, I passed it over here with the Thor with the fear itself. Yeah, Thanos copter. I mean, if you want to talk about fan service, man, I mean, that was an internet joke.
Pure fan service.
And what was interesting, did you notice? So at this final scene, you see the Thanos ship. I forget what it's called. But you see that destroyed as well. The one that he had in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he might have even had it in Endgame, I believe.
No, wasn't that?
No, I thought that was one of the ones from the Battle at New York. I thought that was one of those things.
No, I don't think so. I think it was his horizontal-looking ship that he had.
I thought it was Ronin's.
Was that Ronin's ship or Thanos' ship?
I thought it was the Eternal ship.
So I'm going to say, I think that none of us know what the ships look like.
I think we need a new panel.
Very good.
That's what I thought it was. Also, we saw a helicarrier destroyed in the background as well.
Wait, Tom, whose ship? What were you going to say?
Red Skull's ship from the first Captain America movie was there. And if you notice, the Thanos copter was missing one blade. I think that confirms back during, I think it was Endgame, right? Where Thanos was
just said that his weapon. I was just going to say that.
Helicopter sword, that's probably where it was from.
They're saying it's Ronin's ship. Well,
Ronin's ship. Yeah, I think it was Ronin's ship.
Ray Pliskin saying it. So we could go with that. So this is where we get the opportunity. You can go home or you can fight the Alliance. So Sylvie had the temp pad the whole time. Did we know that she had that, or she just sprung that out at the end? I was kind of taken aback.
We knew she had it.
We did.
Took it from Renslayer.
Because when that happened, I was like, "What the hell?" And then boom, everyone's saying we're gonna stay and fight. But Mobius, he chickens out. He goes back.
He's like, "I'm out."
Well, he had work to do.
Yeah.
He's gonna go back to his desk. He's just gonna start filing paperwork. There's gonna be so much paperwork with this event.
Oh yeah. He's gonna need to go back in time just to do the paperwork.
He's like, I'm gonna be here a while.
Yeah, Josh, that was the name of the ship, the Dark Aster, right? Isn't that sounds familiar?
Watch your
Dark
mouth,
Aster.
It's not Sanctuary 2. Okay, so anyway, we get a nice, goodbye, right? The Mobius Loki goodbye. That was heartfelt. So Loki, he
called him his friend.
Wait, here's a quick question.
That was a great moment, wasn't it?
Do we?
It was.
Ever
Yeah.
That ties back to when they were in the time cell. Go ahead, Gary.
Do we ever see where Kid Loki goes? We know he didn't stay underground and fight. We know he didn't fight at the end.
No, but he was walking with them. He was walking with them.
With Old Man Loki, yeah. So where is Kid Loki? He's doing something.
The villain.
I was gonna say that.
I knew it.
Kids just disappear. I don't know if you guys know that.
Don't
they
keep
just
an eye
wander
on
off.
You should have had him
on him.
So
well,
anyway,
it's safe there now without Elias, right?
Well, no, Elias is still there. He's just
so they're fighting Elias, and then we get probably the most badass scene in all of MCU history with classic Loki comes out of left field.
That was crazy.
Starts raising up Asgard essentially to distract the Elias. Awesome. I mean, holy shit.
That was awesome.
Glorious purpose.
Glorious.
That's
He
probably
yelled it, and we didn't understand what he said at first, so we had to run it back.
and put captions
with
on.
captions. And I swear, I think I might get that tattooed on me, like "glorious purpose." Like, that shit is gym music, or like you're gonna get hyped to glorious.
Like right
purpose.
here, Steve, me, glorious.
I'll tell you,
purpose.
I'm gonna say that's definitely a top 10 moment because number one moment for me in MCU is still Thor coming down with Stormbreaker.
Okay,
I still get chills.
Hold on, my number one MCU moment is that's
On
my
your left?
secret. I'm always angry, and then
see,
turning into
that's
Hulk.
another good one.
Mandarin reveal.
Nah,
Oh boy.
worst MCU
Come
moment.
on.
Have Old Man Loki like raising up Asgard after a narrative where he tells about what he did in his particular timeline.
That was
He
cool.
got lonely. So you have to imagine he's on a planet by himself. You think he didn't make Asgard for himself? He said he got lonely. Well, it sounds pretty lonely. He probably built his entire kingdom and he's by himself. I mean,
That's why he can do it, right? All the detail. He's like, this is a sad, tragic version of Loki that I think was just performed amazingly, brilliantly well.
So good, man.
Yeah.
So and he goes out kind of like the pilot on Independence Day. Like, what's the guy who goes into the mothership thing at the end. Anyway,
but he laughs though. He's laughing at it, man. Like,
he's laughing at him. He sacrifices himself to the Alliance, and Loki tells Sylvie, like, I think we're stronger than we think. So I think that was important. He's showing his strength. They see how strong they can be, how strong they can be together. They enchant the beast, and then we see an opening. We see beyond the void, and it's a castle. So let the theories rip. Who's in the castle? Whose castle is
told
it?
You who was in there.
And I don't want to hear any Doctor Doom.
Gary's so mad.
It's not Loki. Stop
It's
it.
going to be a Loki. My actual theory at this point is that it will be a Loki, and they're going to have an epic CGI fight that's going to end with them convincing Loki that he can trust everyone else, and then they're going to walk away, and then we're going to get like a Thanos moment with Kang, and he's going to be like, "Oh, I can't believe they fell for that."
With Kang.
Yeah, but he'll be the after credits scene. That's my problem with this episode. As much as I loved it, and I did.
Guardians end credit scene.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, who's the power broker? Oh man, it's a episode again. Oh, the power broker's behind all this. Wait, but who is the power broker? What are we gonna do next week? I don't know. Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
So that was out of left field, right?
Right?
That was out of left field.
That was huge.
Tom and me are on the same page here.
But
Come on, Gary,
the
let's do
power
this.
broker was set up the whole time. The power broker was continually
Yeah, but
set up.
Contessa wasn't.
Reveal.
Contessa was a big reveal.
I mean,
I would've
Contessa
gone that
was a big reveal, but that was setting up for the future stuff. But what I'm saying is they were setting up who the power broker is, what the power broker could do, all that kinds of stuff. What they've established right now is nothing. We don't know what the timekeepers can do. All of it has been thrown out the window up to this point. And the whole show has been about Loki breaking out of the mold that is Loki. And all we have seen is everyone expecting him to be evil, everyone wanting to backstab him, everyone telling him they can't trust him, only for him to constantly show, oh, you can trust me. Oh, I'm a good guy. Oh, I do more than flip knives. And that's actually, as much as I really did love this episode, it's what I dislike because I feel like we're going to fall into the standard MCU path, Loki's redemption arc, and his comment of, oh, I think we're more powerful than we thought. That was his level up moment we get in every MCU movie. And now it's just going to go cookie cutter to the ending and give us an end credit scene leading into the next thing.
So
I feel that. I agree. I've been saying this for weeks now. It's a Loki.
Yeah,
right.
Some
It's the
evil
name of the
version
show.
Loki.
It's the name. It's in the
and
name.
the whole point of the show is love yourself. Loki yourself,
Yeah.
even, right?
Mhm.
Like that's the whole point of the show. I would love if it's Kang and
Yes,
Jonathan Majors shows.
something.
I would love that. That would be amazing. I would
You
love.
guys are fixated on Kang when I'm talking Immortus.
It would be cool if it's Immortus.
He's even more
Immortus-
left field, man. He's the
Tom,
more left field.
Tom,
the
how
Immortus
much is
I'm a
pointing
type.
to Immortus?
Watch it be Ramatut, man. We saw this.
the Immortus Kang Ramatut thing is
Ramatut, then
That's-
Immortus, but I'd rather it be Immortus than any Loki.
that's too much for
Thank
most
you.
comic book people.
Yeah.
This show is made for people like
That's what I'm saying.
it's a Loki.
Imagine
Everyone-
Robbie.
Everyone else
Imagine
pissed off that Loki's like acting nice.
Imagine the 18 to 24-year-old demographic. It's Immortus. It's Kang. Who the hell are any of these?
Exactly.
Ramatut?
They may
Who
do
the hell
something
is
weird.
half these people that don't know who, like Go back,
The MCU
who's
has
Agatha?
never done that. The MCU has
Who,
never. Give me one
You're not
moment.
telling me Agatha is more obscure than Kang?
But they
Agatha was
set
in
her
the
up.
whole show.
Yeah.
She was set up though. That's like
You don't think that they leaked and told everyone that Kang is coming? How far ahead of production in Ant-Man?
They did.
They did.
How
Yeah,
far
Andrew.
ahead?
With COVID, all of our timelines, thinking what they should be doing right now. You have to put yourself a year ago. Think of
this.
Major coming out and everything else.
Do we even know the real antagonist in the Spider-Man movie yet? Do we really know?
People are still specking Sinister Six.
Okay, do we know the real antagonist of Eternals?
Nope.
Okay. There's a
Well, I'll
reason
tell you
we know
this.
Kang is already
They have
out
never
there.
done
I'll
that.
tell you
though,
this.
is my
I'm
point.
going.
Gary, come back, because really the only thing we do know right now, the only thing we know right now is Kang. That's it. That's the only confirmation.
The issue I have with
This sounds like Mephisto all over again.
Right. The issue
You're
I have with that is they've
probably
never
right.
done that. The only thing
Jimmy
they've ever
Fallon.
done, the only comic book dives we've ever really had in the MCU have been post-credit scenes. Those have been the comic dives, like when they introduced Thanos and never set him up. But anytime in any movie, and in all the shows we've had so far, they have never once thrown a left field comic book deep dive like a Mortis.
And And what better show to do it than Loki?
And here, okay,
Hold
if
on,
we,
man. Here's the thing, man.
He's sticking with it. He's sticking with it.
He's
Man.
going down
I
with the
appreciate
ship.
that. I want to see Kang too, but
PlayStation.
if we look at the MCU, Black Panther versus another Black Panther, Iron Man versus another Iron Man, Ant-Man
Right.
versus another Ant-Man, Scarlet
Captain
Witch
America
versus
versus
another
a
witch.
Nazi.
Exactly. Captain America versus another Captain America. And like it's Loki versus Loki. I mean, that's just kind of their thing.
Okay. All right,
And
so
what
let's say
if Immortus
okay.
is using the Lokis as pawns?
I would love that, bro. That would be great. But the whole
great
show can't be
fun.
called Loki and then have the whole idea of it be that Loki's a pawn.
I feel a bet
Loki.
coming on because I think half of us feel like it's Loki. Half of us, I think, just want it to be Kang or some version of Kang.
I don't want Loki.
So Tom and Gary are on the Kang train.
I
Who
think
else-
Loki, but I think there's Kang in this mix.
That's kinda what
I
Benny
think he'll
was
be the
saying,
post
right?
credits. I do think Kang's gonna get a mention or a reference, or Jonathan Majors will voice over something. He's gonna
That would be
reference
dope.
how all of this went terribly, or all went according to plan. Like that, we will get. That I don't deny.
Can't have Kang show up in one movie and it's Ant-Man.
I mean, you
True.
can't have Ultron show up in one movie and do a puppet song. I mean,
It's
Yeah,
nice. We're all the
Well,
same.
The more you think about
Hey,
that
that's
movie,
amazing.
and
Come on.
granted, that was years ago. But the
Years ago,
more you
so
think
yellow.
about that movie, the more it was about introducing Vision, Scarlet Witch. We see them change. We go from antagonist, Quicksilver dies, but you get Scarlet Witch now a protagonist, right? We see the transition. So yeah, Ultron was slightly disappointing, but it wasn't even, granted, yes, Age of Ultron, but it seemed to be about the supporting cast a little more.
Gary, they're saying it's Larry. Well, what do you got? What do
Is
you got?
this like when Miss Minutes first shows up, or is she also in the comics?
I don't think she's in the comics.
Because I feel like she's like an eyes and ears situation for whoever's behind this. So
Right.
if she's linked to anyone, I feel like
Just
that
like Elias.
could be who it
Elias
She's
and
a
Miss
Renslayer
Minutes are
variant.
both pawns of whoever is behind the TVA.
is. Right. Because I think she's involved some way.
They went out of their way to put her twice in this episode.
I guarantee that Miss Minutes will show up in a comic book in the next year, though.
Yeah, that's
it'll be a mini 6-issue series.
Miss Minutes issue 1. We're gonna review
37
it.
variant covers of a clock.
So what about this? No post, no end credit scene. What's up with that?
Okay, what
I'm
the hell?
shocked.
I just bitched about this last week.
They hate us.
But what could they have done though? Shown Mobius
Anything!
walking into the TVA?
I mean, we could have seen it. Which Ant plays the drums, Gary. We could have done anything. What if it was Miss Minutes being like, "Where is everyone?" Anything to just hold that spot. That's all they had to do. And they
What if
didn't
Miss
do
Minutes
it.
was still looking through the files?
Yes,
She was
it
like,
could have been anything.
Oh yes. Yes.
Yeah, that would have been good. I mean, it wouldn't really have been impactful, but I like what Figure Drawing's saying. And you're right. That's how you know that you have a good show on your hands. When there's debate, when there's conversation, when there's things to look forward to, whether you agree or disagree. I
Which
can't wait.
we got with WandaVision and never had with Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I was more of a fan of the WandaVision, but then again, I always like the big cosmic stuff, the big crazy stuff. I don't really like some people will say Captain America Winter Soldier is the #1 MCU movie. I'm not on that train. So I understand the different types of movies that people like, the different type of genres. But I do like the Kang setup. Why did they leak Kang? Why did they leak the actor? They've never really done that either. And Ant-Man 3 Quantumania, that's not really a big deal, right? Like, who cares about Ant-Man 3? So it would make sense if they're bigging up this character. So I get that. That makes a little bit of sense, and we'll have to see, how that plays
They
out.
just started production on that, right? Like a week or two ago, a few weeks ago. Like, I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be grasping at straws. I'm glad I got Tom agreeing with me.
Harry, I don't know if you were on when we were chatting about the update, but Jonathan Majors tied to 5 live-action projects with possible solo series as Kang announced today. So I don't know. Apply that to what you're having to say. But
Okay.
Gary's leaving
Well,
again.
the
Gary's
early
leaving again.
theories. The early theories was that Kang was the big bad of this phase. That was the early theories. So him being tagged to 5 more things and then getting a solo series could be we get a villain who gets a full redemption arc and then goes like on a Doctor Who adventure as Kang the
You
Conqueror.
don't think
Wasn't
they
there also-
did that on purpose a week before he's revealed in Loki? Are you kidding me? They do that all the time.
They're messing with us, yo. That's what they're doing.
So glad Gary's here.
It's just like the Fast and the Furious meme right now. That is planned by the company. There's no way it's blowing up everywhere unintentionally.
That's the best promotion they could have
Yeah,
had.
and they're doing that with Kang. Look what's happening. We're all talking about Kang, and he's in an Ant-Man movie.
Now we got to see Quantumania. Prince Zodiac for $5 says Thanos took 10 years and 6 movies to establish Kang and Mephisto are bigger than Thanos. So I was with you until the last part of that thing. There's
But
no
the
way
MCU
Kang
doesn't
and
think so.
Mephisto are bigger than Thanos, yo.
Well, you remember Kevin Feige said that the next few phases of the MCU, they weren't going to be like one big 10-year Infinity Gauntlet arc. They would be some shorter arcs. So yeah, you do a Kang arc, right? You do these kind of things that like lead. I'm down for Kang being the villain for the next few years, right? Until they do Blade, and then it's going to be Dracula for a little bit, maybe, or something. That would be cool, right? But it would be cool eventually, like, to have a next big bag. The next big Thanos is like Galactus, I think, right?
Give us Annihilation already, man. Give us Annihilation.
Please.
There's no guys, like you got to think about it like this, man. We had like very limited movies. Now we have Disney Plus. We're gonna get a plethora of
It's your boy Jen Mint.
Sorry about that.
I was so confused.
I was like, wait, am I talking right now?
Yeah, I was like, it's my boy Chen Mint.
I
What?
was like, is that Kang?
I got a soundboard here. I just
Play
knocked
the
it.
sound bit, Tom.
So go ahead, Tom.
This is what you get on the Bags and Boards podcast. So when I'm like, yo, this is minty fresh,
It's your boy Jen Mint.
you know,
Bro, I want one of those. You guys
I
send me
want
a
a
link.
soundboard.
Hey,
but Tom,
speaking
Keep going
of
what you were
shows-
doing because you were on a roll there. I actually liked where you were going with that.
so we have like, you know, if we're looking at this like, oh, what's the one big bad? Well, we have to also apply that there's like 10 times more content coming out. So we're not going to get one big bad. We may get it lurking over time. Maybe it's a Galactus, but that's long term. Fantastic Four is slated for 3-4 years now, right? So we're going to get a plethora of villains.
It's your boy Jen.
I did it again. Talk with my hands. I'm so sorry.
What I
I'm
love about your soundboard slip-ups, it's the same your boy Gem each time.
It's on every
Yeah,
button.
we have talked about this, you and I, multiple times, how there isn't going to be a big bad. Or there will down the line, right? But we are going to get the Earthbound street level big bad. We are going to get the cosmic big bad. We're going to get maybe a Disney Plus big
You
bad.
need Norman Osborn. You need Doctor Doom. You need Galactus. You need Annihilation. Annihilus.
There's going to be multiple pockets and groups of big bads, and
I'm
I
down
don't
with
think it
that.
hurts that we get an Immortus or that Ramatut or something teased in this series. If there's a reason they just leaked all that information about Kang, and I'll tell you what, if it's not true, you know, it's not true.
You're
I've been
right.
wrong
It's
a
just
lot.
like Mephisto doing one. Oh wait, Mephisto wasn't in WandaVision, Gary.
No, Mephisto didn't. I mean, like we have Eliath, man. Like that is Kang right there. Like Kang will go up against anybody. He'll go up against
Dude,
Thor.
we have the tower.
And the Darkhold is so Mephisto, right? Comic Tom.
But at the end. So I mean, like I feel like Mephisto could be very well coming.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of comments. Yeah, I mean, Kang makes sense. You know, tying it into Fantastic Four. I mean, it makes sense. We'll see. Like Benny said, it would be a first, right, for us to kind of get this big reveal.
What if the castle was Chronopolis?
That's Kang's. Isn't his city in the quantum realm though?
It's in the
But not at
quantum
end of
realm.
time.
Well, maybe he's got a few. What and didn't it say on the side of one of the towers? Didn't it spell out Kang but in different letters?
Like his company.
You were late.
Delete your
was
own
late.
versions from going back through time. But you would get rid of some of those Nexus events, right?
See?
From
If
your
she
own
can
time.
enchant you and like see in your memories, like why would she wait to walk to where she can like go now? Why would she not like explore what's it called? Eliath's mind?
I guess she was only focused on who's behind Eliath, you know?
Yeah.
And how do you enchant something that's not, is it alive? Is it
Yeah,
human?
that's the one thing about this episode that I really didn't like. I was like, so she just can enchant smoke now, like
Right.
with the power of love. 'cause she has
living
to-
I think
It's a temporal being. Eliath is a temporal being that covers time that Kang refuses to go into because it's so powerful. But it's not Kang, right? So like, who cares?
Oh, so he's working for Kang.
And Eliath is literally quantified as a guard dog with no mind, no ability. It just chases an illusion. They've took what is supposed to be a big bad that Kang is afraid of and literally made it a smoke dog, Tom.
Protecting.
What he can't do to Goliath in the comics, he used it as he made a barrier to protect where he lived, where he ruled.
Like Chronopolis?
Like Chronopolis. Thank you.
Another thing we got to remember is that Kevin Feige said the shows will illuminate certain things, but they won't be necessary if you watch the movies.
Sure.
The last we saw Scarlet Witch, she was kind of messed up over Vision's death. That's how WandaVision ended. The last we saw of Sam, he was going to be Captain America. That's how Captain America and Winter Soldier ended, right? And the last we saw of Loki, he was dead. This whole thing will end with Loki, the Loki we know, dying. I think Sylvie will survive. And be the MCU's Enchantress.
I think Kid Loki will survive. So he sacrifices himself to break the sacred timeline and let the universe do its thing.
Yeah, that's what I think, because it's going to end where it already ended. Loki.
Well, and Kevin Feige did say that this is going to be the one show that's going to have like ramifications that will affect the movies. Like
that's what I was going to say, Tom, because we got Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So this has to tie in with that. This unleashes the multiverse. So
that's just it, Jim. This is the first real confirmation of the multiverse. Also the first time that on screen we've seen multiple versions of a character interacting with themselves. This opens up so many more possibilities, but also so far is completely skippable if Doctor Strange is like, here's the multiverse. Multiple versions exist. Boom, explained.
America Chavez.
Glorious purpose is Loki sacrificing himself to end the person in charge of the sacred timeline. That
I
makes
actually like the theory of our Loki dying, and it's to save Sylvie or something. I actually like that theory of the show ending where it begins, but I do think we get Demortis.
Because, but the thing is, it doesn't make sense because Lokis don't die; they always survive, right? So
Sylvie will,
or Kid Loki,
and maybe Kid Loki. And Gator Loki. Gator Loki's got to make it through.
Let's wind it down with the final thoughts. Let's start at the bottom here because Benny's streaming too. So Tom, final thoughts on the episode. What score are you giving it out of 1 to 10?
This may be my favorite, probably my favorite episode of all the Disney Plus stuff. I'm gonna give it a 9 for sure.
Ooh, I like
it.
I mean,
this is cool. All the Easter eggs. That's what I've been, waiting to see. I was excited the entire episode. I wasn't expecting so much. Seeing Goliath is crazy. The Thanos copter. I mean, like, really, what else do you need?
Thanos copter was amazing.
You need Thor.
Maybe. Robbie, what do you got, man?
I love this episode. I thought it was great. I've been a little down on the last two, but I loved all the different Lokis. Kid Loki, like classic Kirby Loki, that was dope. Richard E. Grant just blossomed in that role. Gator Loki, and all in all, I'm really excited about where the show's going. However it ends, I'm the biggest Avengers nerd, Gary. I love plotting out when Immortus and Kang and Ramatut, where the changeover. I love that. I would love that, but I think we're going to get a pretty decent tale. But I loved this episode. It was probably my second favorite of the entire Loki run so far. I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. I thought it was super, super good.
What was your favorite episode?
The first.
Josh Phelps with a $2 super chat says, great show, firm handshakes all around. I'll take it. Gary, what do you got?
I'm going to definitely say this was the best Loki episode yet. I'm super excited for next week. I hope I'm right. I don't know if I'll be here next week. I may have a newborn, so I'll phone in the grade. But I'm going to go 8.5 on this one. I'm still liking WandaVision better, but I have to admit this episode helped move Loki real close. The next episode could get it on par with WandaVision, in my opinion, just my opinion, or maybe surpass it if a certain someone shows up, not to be named.
Fair enough. Loki Forge.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
Listen, I enjoyed it. Like everybody else said, I think it was my favorite one so far. A 9, I would give it. I've given 8 so far. I think across the board. I thought it was better than the rest of them. I liked all the Lokis. I think the Gator Loki obviously was hilarious. How he bit his hand off. I'm upset that President Loki didn't have like a little bit longer of a stay with us. But you know what? He had to go, I guess. So.
Yeah, and guys in the chat, give us your grade as well. And Benny, what do you got, man?
I did love this episode. I love the series for Loki. My biggest disappointment is I was hoping this was. I'm going with what a lot of you guys said. That Kevin Feige said it's going to change everything and it's going to open up possibilities. And I love the fact that what they've done. I love the show. I've given this a 9 out of 10. I just wish that it was finally going to break the MCU mold and we weren't just going to fall in line with it.
Yeah,
that's
I
all.
don't know.
I wish it was that, but can't knock what they did give us. I love what they did give us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's definitely my favorite episode of the season so far. Is it my favorite out of all the MCU shows? I mean, it could be. You know, I definitely loved the Easter eggs were amazing. Classic Loki was amazing. Kid Loki was amazing. The only thing that I didn't really love was the blanket scene, but I mean, you gotta show the growth of these two that were butting heads at one point, and now they're sharing blankets. I think
Loki shares.
I think
You really don't like
episode
the
1 I gave a 9, so I'm gonna give this one a 10. Man, this is a 10 out of 10 episode. For me. I loved it. Fee, what do you think?
Well, you guys haven't got any of my other scores, but
Right.
I mean, I'm gonna say this. Liked WandaVision, didn't even finish watching Falcon and Winter Soldier. This one is my favorite show out of all of them. I have really enjoyed this show. I mean, the beginning episode's a little bit upset because I'm like, so Loki works at a desk now and he's just in an office, but it's really good now. And this episode was like, it was really great. It's a high up there number.
It's not there. There's no other grades, so there's nothing to compare.
Yeah,
to.
there's nothing compared
But
to. It's up there.
Can you give us your pet peeve on the fight scenes?
No, they need to do more training with these pruning sticks. How are you going to fight with a pruning stick and you're hitting with the center? Just use the very small tip on the end and eliminate everything in front of you. What are we doing?
He brought it
Good
up.
point.
I've
Good
heard it
point.
a couple times on this very show. What's with all the hate with Falcon and Winter Soldier? Like, am I like the only one that really enjoyed that?
I liked it.
wasn't-
I thought it was solid. It
I
was
thought it
okay.
was okay. No, I mean, I didn't really like it now that I think about it. I mean, they had some cool fight scenes. I think episode 1 was okay.
I mean, you
It's
see
not
it
really
next
my
to
vibe.
Rick in WandaVision, you're like, all right, it was just a straightforward buddy action.
Which
show.
is why I think that's what Loki's going to be, because they've done it. They did WandaVision. It had a lot of cool possibilities. It turned into a show about trauma and her dealing with the trauma.
But Benny,
Falcon Winter Soldier was just Winter Soldier on crack, basically what it was. And this is just going to be Loki learning to be trusted.
but are you gonna want Benny at the end of it? Do you want that like Spaceballs moment when he goes, "Ha ha, fooled you"?
Yes,
And
I
like,
do.
yeah,
I
fucking
want
mask,
that.
like-
I want that. I want to
Scooby-Doo
have
moment?
the big reveal.
The thing about Falcon and Winter Soldier, I did like U.S. Agent. Like, you hated him, right? And
Yeah,
that
that-
shows you
alright.
how good they did. I like those scenes when he killed the guy with the shield. It had some good scenes to it too.
It's
But I
those-
like more of the out there crazy stuff like WandaVision and like Loki. You know?
Yeah.
I like the Easter eggs. I like the comic book accurate moments, which is why I loved Falcon's Captain America costume. I thought it was
that was
great.
good.
Awesome.
But look,
So,
WandaVision had the Halloween costumes, classic Loki.
That was
got
cool.
Silver Age
Loved it.
Loki. I
Yeah.
love how
I
they're
just
finding
think-
ways to shoehorn those costumes.
I just think we had a lot of great discussions about WandaVision. We've had a lot of great discussions about Loki. And when it came to Falcon Winter Soldier, it was just very straightforward. And for me personally, I like the theories. I like the Easter eggs. I
Right.
like the speculation. I like the
Yeah.
banter. It was hard to do that with Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
That's
Gary, who do you Gary,
Soldier.
who do you hope is coming at the end of this? one?
I wonder who.
I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking maybe
All right.
Loki at the end is going to be
Got
gone.
It's a good theory. I mean, we haven't heard it yet, so it's
For
good.
the record, I just clipped that scene. So next week, when you're like, "No, I didn't want Loki," I'm going to use that against you.
It seems like a sound theory. I'm going to go with that.
Like an evil Loki, right? Like
Yeah.
Like what?
It's
would-
like an evil, dirty, old, angry Loki.
A more
it could be
evil Loki.
It could literally be Tom Hiddleston Loki.
What if it's
Got it. I
President
hope it's
Loki?
not.
He just comes back with no hand.
Then we
with no hand, like this, with a nub,
He's got to have the wood hand.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, and
Like
Tin
Chubbs?
Cup.
like Chubbs.
well, no, Chubb. Is that from?
Oh yeah, Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Gilmore, yeah.
Or a hook,
Yeah.
like
With like a
Captain Hook.
busted finger, all taped up.
Dude, it is a Captain Hook thing because the gator swallowed his hand. He probably swallowed Miss Minutes, the clock, so it's ticking. And yeah, it's, the
Oh
Hook
wow!
himself.
Now we're stretching.
It's Peter Pan is the villain.
All right. Well, with that
Wow.
being said, I guess we'll get on up out of here. Tom, you want to let them know where they can find you?
Comic Time 101, yo. We do a show every week with Gem Mint, chatting about the comics defining this generation of collectors. Come say hi.
Robbie.
Pop culture philosophers, and in less than an hour, we're going on with Action Fest, a live review of Die Hard.
Ooh.
Die Hard 1?
The first one, the best one. Yeah.
One of the best Christmas movies of all time?
Yes, and one of the best summer movies of all time too, because it's Christmas in July, baby.
Oh, nice.
Gary, where can they find you?
Very Gary Comics. Today's video was a 17-book Star Wars CGC unboxing. It was a good one.
I gotta check that out still. And then holding down for the pressable defects, Guy.
Yo, Pressable Defects. Go check us out. Obviously, we have a 5K giveaway going on right now. You can go enter and win some free stuff. We do a whole bunch of stuff, so come over. That's all.
Ben, you got anything you want to plug?
You guys, people on my side can catch me talking about TV shows and movies over at Absolutely Marvel at DC. But if you're watching this on Comicstorian, go check out Gem Mint, Pressable Defects, Very Gary Comics, Pop Culture Philosophers, and Comic Tom. They've been awesome, inviting me back every week. Surprisingly, I mean, I don't know why, but I'm here to yell. So,
lower your voice. You better not be the villain.
Next week,
he's gonna eat a shoe.
Season finale.
Where's that shoe? Where's that shoe?
It's right here. It's fine.
Same shoe. So next week, season finale, same place, same time, and then we got to figure out who's hosting What If.
Everyone wants to know where you can find me. No,
They know where to find you.
There's nowhere to
Guys, wait. You're all going to nobody's going to watch Titan season 3 with me? Come on.
I haven't seen season 2 yet.
Okay, go watch that first.
I need to get caught up.
Season 1 was amazing.
Yes.
I heard 2 was even better.
Yes.
I liked the first season, so I'm down.
I'll
That's
host the Titan show.
We have a request. Can we all wear Loki helmets for the final?
We gotta get on Amazon.
I gotta go
man.
order
I
one right
want the
now.
big horns like this.
Gary's got it already done.
That's the best I
Go
can
get
do.
Gary,
Gary's got one.
Yeah, everybody.
All right, y'all. We're gonna go work on our Amazon wish list and watch Black Widow. Thanks for watching. Stay minty fresh. Peace.
All right. Let me see if I can do this, guys. Hold on. We'll do a quick thing here. Oh, why is it being weird? I'm trying to fix this. Please bear with the technical difficulties. Aha! There we go. Oh, kitty. All right, guys. Going to answer a few questions, and thank you guys for all of your super chats. I'm moving it all over now so I can do that. Sorry for the bit of confusion there. The super chats that you're seeing on the screen are coming from Jeb Mint's side. They are not on my side. So I do apologize for anybody that's why I try to talk to you more directly on the thing. We will, if I host, we'll do it over there. No, it says I have no super chats. What? I know, Kitty. I know you're sad. You're really sad. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to chat with you guys for a few more minutes. I'm just trying to figure out how to go through and find. Great. So it's not going to show me any super chats. That's cool. We're going to scroll up, and I can't scroll that high. So I apologize, but YouTube is literally showing 0 super chats, and I know a bunch of you did because I was responding to any ones that I could catch. So I do apologize for that. Hey, I have merchandise still on this website? Cool. Stay for part 2. Part 2 of what? I'm gonna hang around for a few minutes to answer you guys' questions directly. You, me, my Amazon, and my 3D. Wait, what? What do you want me to do, Ryan? You, your Amazon, and me with my 3D printer. I don't know where you're going with that, Rad, but okay. I do think it's Loki. I don't want it to be Loki, but I think it's Loki. I really do think it's Loki. So, yeah, if you watched Absolute Comics, we realized we both did the same one, Kyle. It was completely unintentional. I was like, yeah, I'm putting out the Kelly Thompson run. It sounds like, well, mine went out today, so we're going to be dealing with that. If they do Pet Avengers, you hope Goose Rider's in it? That would be hilarious, yes. Oh, kitty. I'm hitting upload on a video. I had to film while we're doing this. Upload. Remember you, Santiago. Yep. From our Avengers stream. We streamed a little bit of the Avengers game over on Comicstorian Gaming earlier, guys. We're going to try to do that every Friday as well. Stream the game. So The Rama, you think it's Ramadan? I just don't think they're going to reach that far. That's what I don't think. I know there's a crazy delay on the YouTube side, guys, so. My favorite Easter egg up to this point, I did like President Loki. I thought it was a fun one. I just wish they used more of them. What's going on, Lucius? We're closing out the show here, but welcome. Fing Fang Foom, and he serves noodles like in the MODOK show. Am I excited for What If? Yeah, I definitely am. I'm going to watch Black Widow after this. Me and my wife are going to sit down and watch it. So we'll do a review of that over on Absolutely Marvel and DC, our new podcast TV show discussion channel. The original Renslayer of the... it's the original... Oh, that's a good idea, Jared. It's the original Renslayer of the Sacred Timeline.
What's going on?
You don't know why President Loki was even surprised they were all a Loki? Yeah, I know. It was the librarian lady. Oh, and here's some shoe money. Well, thank you so much. I'm not betting you're Adam. Thank you so much, Adam. And I hope you enjoy that shoe a lot. I really hope I don't have to eat a shoe. That's going to be awkward. Maybe I'll get one of those like shoe cakes and like fake you guys all out. And then it'll be a cake. It'll be like, devil's food cake or something. Kang is Nathan Richards to plug the new Fantastic Four. I mean, that'd be a hell of a way to do it. Well, guys, we are going to wrap up here. Thank you so much for watching me today. I'll be live over on Comicstorian Gaming Twitch channel for Final Fantasy Sundays like usual. Next Tuesday will be our usual a podcast over at Comicstorian Twitch channels. And Friday I'll come back over here. We'll talk more about Loki and see what we thought about the finale. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I will see you next week right here, same time, okay? 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks again.